Hello and welcome to Watch Releases Recap for the week of October the 6th until October the 13th. Let's begin with Tag Heuer and their collaboration with Bamford Watch Department and Rowing Blazers fashion brand. Rowing Blazers is a pretty big brand. They have their hands in a few different businesses from fashion to household items. They actually have collaborated with a few different watch companies in the past, most notably with Seiko and Tudor. This time they partnered up with Tag Heuer to release a limited edition Carrera chronograph in collaboration with themselves as well as Bamford Watch Department. Apparently the designers of this watch took some inspiration from a vintage Heuer yacht timer. You can see that the color scheme between the two watches is somewhat similar, although I don't see too many similarities between these two watches if I'm being completely honest. Underneath the new color scheme and the new branding, this is essentially Tag Heuer Carrera with the same Heuer 02 automatic chronograph movement, which by the way is a pretty excellent movement. I already talked about this movement when we talked about a different limited release from Tag Heuer a few weeks ago. Besides sharing the same movement as the standard Carrera, it also shares the same case and the same bracelet as the standard Carrera. It comes in a 42mm case by 14.5mm thickness. Even though this is a vertical clutch automatic movement, which is really nice, it is still a bit on the thicker side, so that's why the watch itself is a bit thicker. On a positive, it has 100 meters of water resistance, so you could technically take this watch on your yacht. Besides the stainless steel bracelet, the watch also comes with this colored NATO strap. Not a huge fan of this very colorful over-the-top NATO. I prefer the look of the stainless steel bracelet, but this NATO strap is the throwback to the original Heuer yacht timer to draw some more parallels between the two designs. This model is limited to 99 pieces and it's priced at $8,900 and it's exclusively available through Rowing Blazers website, so you can't buy it from Tag Heuer. Next we have a new release from Fortis, their new N42 Novonaut chronograph. Even though Fortis has a rich history in the watch industry, it is still, in my opinion, a bit of an enthusiast brand. Not too many people outside of the small watch geek circle really know Fortis watches. This model does have some history. It actually has been in outer space. Fortis supplied these watches for Russian Space Agency from 1994 until 2003. 20 years later, they're bringing back this model, but they're calling it something else because, of course, nobody now wants to be associated with anything to do with Russia. And of course, there are a lot of sanctions placed on this country. This new model comes in a very similar case with the very similar design. It's a 42mm stainless steel case. It's 14.7mm thick. This modified Belgian movement is called Caliber WERK17 movement, which has 60 hours of power reserve, and it has more anti-magnetism because it comes with the silicone hairspring. In terms of the models themselves, the watch comes in 3 different color options. 2 of them are non-limited editions, so the blue one and the standard black one. The one with the orange accents that says first edition, that's the limited edition to 100 pieces. These watches are priced at $4,850 for the limited edition one, $4,590 for the one on the bracelet, and $4,270 on the strap. So kind of an expensive watch. Yes, this watch has a lot of history, and yes, it is a cool watch with cool lume, and it has this kind of tough look. Kind of reminds me almost of Sin watches, but almost $5,000 I think is quite a bit of money for this timepiece. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Is it too much or is it well priced? Moving on to the next one. The new additions to the Seiko 5 lineup of GMT watches. It's been a year since Seiko released their affordable GMT watches in the Seiko 5 lineup. Seiko is known to release many different versions and many different models and special editions and limited editions for each one of their lines, and Seiko 5 GMT is no exception. These 3 new colors are US market exclusive. And I think that's a pretty big mistake. Usually I don't like to comment on the limited editions or the special editions. You know, it's up to the company what they want to do. But in this case, I just don't see why these watches have to be US market only. And let's face it, we do live in a global market. If you really want to buy these watches, you can order them from US. Nothing is really stopping you. But still, Why make them US exclusive? Why add that hassle to your customers? If you like this watch, why shouldn't you be able to just go to the Seiko AD and buy them? As far as the watches themselves, for the most part, it's just a different paint scheme. They still come in the same 42.5mm case diameter, that comfortable 46mm lug to lug, and only 13.5mm in thickness. They still have hardlex crystals, still the same Seiko caliber 4R34 automatic movement. It's not a high beat movement. It has 41 hours of power reserve and 24 joules. This movement is not too accurate, but it's all right for this price point. 100 meters of water resistance is always welcomed in a sporty GMT, and even the color schemes work. I like this gold accents one. I don't know why. I think that looks really good. I think the yellow dial one is going to be popular, and of course this Pepsi one is also pretty killer. Whichever the one is the most popular is not the point. The point is that Seiko for some reason makes these stupid decisions, at least in my book, by limiting their market and just making watch enthusiasts' life harder for no reason by making these US exclusive or Asia exclusive or Europe exclusive. Just make them available worldwide. Come on, Seiko. Chopard Alpine Eagle Extra Large Chrono with Marine Blue Dial. In 2019, Chopard released their Alpine Eagle model line. This is sort of a re-release of a model that they had in 1980s. But you don't really need to be a Sherlock Holmes to see what's really going on here. They're trying to capitalize, just like many other brands. I'm not just pointing my finger at Chopard, but many other brands were trying to kind of capitalize on this resurgence, this popularity of integrated bracelet watches. Unfortunately for Chopard, I think they were just too late to the party. By this point, this trend was sort of already overplayed. There were just too many of these type of watches. You had affordable ones, you had high-end ones, and of course you had your favorites that were impossible to get with the AP and with the Patek. This line still did okay for Chopard, but I'm sure it wasn't as successful as they were hoping. Fast forward to today, and they added a brand new color to this lineup. This new dial color is called Marine Blue, but again, you don't need to be a Sherlock Holmes to figure out that this is really another take on that Tiffany blue dial color. And just like with the integrated bracelet, I think Chopard is late to the party once again. The Tiffany blue color was popular 2 years ago. It's no longer popular. The market is again oversaturated. I think that sort of represents pretty well the challenges that a lot of these traditional watch companies face, because they can't jump on trends fast enough, and by the time they do decide to jump on trends, the trends have already passed. This, in my opinion at least, is a perfect example of that. The watch itself comes in a stainless steel case. It's a large case because it has extra large in its name, 44mm diameter, 13.1mm thickness, has 100 meters of water resistance. It's powered by the in-house Chopard 03.05C automatic movement, 28,800 vibrations per hour, 60 hours of power reserve. It's a pretty good movement, and you even have a display case back to admire the movement. The price of this new model is 20,800 euros. It's a lot of money, but in this high horology world, it's not that much. I think it's priced to be an affordable, sort of a smart alternative to the AP Royal Oak. Unfortunately for Chopard, I don't think it's going to be that popular, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. The new additions to Grand Seiko Heritage Collection. I don't know how Grand Seiko can keep on releasing new models week after week, but more importantly, I don't know how watch enthusiasts can keep up with the endless amount of models available in the Grand Seiko catalog. Once again, we have two new additions to the Heritage lineup of Grand Seiko watches. The Grand Seiko Heritage line comes in a classic 44GS style case, which has 36.5mm diameter. It's only 11.6mm thick and has a 42.7mm lug-to-lug distance. So this, I could truly say, is a unisex watch. You could be a female or a male and you can pull off wearing a watch like this. It's more of a dressy watch. You can even tell that by the design of the dial. Very minimalistic, not too much writing. In fact, one of the criticisms that Grand Seiko often gets is how overcrowded their dials are. Happy to say that Grand Seiko did not make the same mistake with these two new models. They come with minimal writing on the dial, just the Grand Seiko logo by the 12 o'clock position and, you know, Japanese made, Japanese movement closer to the 6 o'clock position. You also have an open rail track for the seconds. You have the Dauphine style hands. You have the Zaratsu polish on the indexes as well as the hands. And of course, parts of the case have this high polish that they call Zaratsu. The quality of Grand Seikos does not have to be sold. You have to experience it to really understand how well made these watches are. I love the fact that they also come with drilled lug holes, and I like the design of this bracelet, although the clasp is not my favorite part. These two new models are priced at $5,400 US. They're not limited editions, so they're going to be added to the catalog, and they should be available from your Grand Seiko AD. The new GShock Reference 6900 by Ed Sheeran and Hodinkee. Ed Sheeran recently appeared on Talking Watches. It's this show that Hodinkee hosts once every couple of months. I always watch these, and I'm sure you do as well. They're very interesting. Basically, different watch enthusiasts and watch collectors come on the show and showcase their collections. I haven't watched this one yet. I'm saving it for the weekend. Of course, you're watching this video on the weekend, but I'm recording the video ahead of the weekend, so by the time this one comes out, I would have already watched it. Anyways, this one was hosted by John Mayer, another prolific watch collector, and I'm sure the two of them had great discussion about watches. Usually when celebrities appear on these Talking Watches, they're promoting something. In this case, Ed Sheeran is partnering up with G-Shock, partnering up with Hodinkee, and releasing his own limited edition G-Shock. This one is reference 6900, nice, and it is yellow. That's pretty much all you need to know. These limited release G-Shock watches usually just come in a different paint scheme. They have a little bit of a different packaging, but in terms of the functionality, it's your standard G-Shock. It will still have the same display, the same functions, the same form. It just has a slightly different paint scheme. I think this one is going to be very popular. That's why I wanted to highlight it, because it hasn't been released yet. You can go on Hodinkee website right now. It's going to be released on October 18th, but you can sign yourself up so you're notified when the watch does come out. I think this one's going to be just as popular as the John Mayer one, maybe even more popular. Consider this your heads up. Go on Hodinkee website and sign up for that notification, but please do so if you genuinely like the watch. Don't do it because you want to speculate and make some money. That's just the wrong reason to get into this whole thing. And that's it. Those were the releases for this week. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what releases stood out to you. Also give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.